Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Passion Paradox podcast. I'm your host, Ryan Go, and today's episode is all about real estate. Here with me today, I have a former registered nurse transforming into a real estate wholesaler. Ever since the start of her journey in real estate, she's done multiple deals all over the state of Florida. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give her a warm welcome to the show, Ms. Leah Ardizzonne. How are you today?
Hello. Thank you so much for the introduction. That was very good. How are you,
Thank
Ryan?
you, thank you. I'm doing very well today. So, the first thing that I want to talk about is, I just want to acknowledge that we've actually been in contact for quite some time now through Jamil's Astroblasting group. So, the first question that I really want to start with is, what made you get into real estate in the first place?
I didn't know much about real estate, but it was actually my boyfriend, Arit, that got interested, and he was always talking about it and how, he wanted to become like financially free. So I started like listening to him and hearing what he was saying, and it kind of made sense. So
Right.
I guess I just started getting more interested, and we started learning about everything we could. We joined a couple mentorships. We started buying books, anything we could to get started and get a feel of what the real estate world looked like. But it was mainly my boyfriend.
I see. Okay, so I guess a better follow-up question was like, why did you turn into real estate and what made you actually fully pivot into real estate instead of just staying as a registered nurse?
So, when he started talking about, being financially free and not having to depend on anyone, I started thinking about what my life looked like at the time. And, as a registered nurse, well, it's not the same in the US as in Spain, like with shifts and, schedules and everything. But
Right.
we have something in common and it's that we depend on someone, on a boss or, someone that we have to ask permission for whenever we need a couple of days off or, when we have to arrange our schedules. Um, and then other than that, it is very comfortable, and I love being able to work from home and spending time with my family, with Arit, with my dogs, my new puppy.
Mm-hmm.
So it's one, the comfort of being home and spending time and doing something you actually like with your
Right.
loved ones, and two, making your own schedule and organizing your life. It's like, I'm in between Spain and the US. So let's say I'm in the US and my family is in Spain, and something either good or bad happens in Spain and I have to go back home for a few days. Let's
Correct.
say
Right.
someone's getting married or a new member to the family. So
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to depend on someone else's decision for me to be able to go take a plane and go. No, I'll just be like, hey, I'm buying the plane tickets and I want to
Right.
go. So
Exactly.
yeah, just that freedom of being your own boss and not depending on anyone, doing your own thing.
Right. Awesome, awesome testimony. Because one of the things that, I see a lot in other real estate investors is the main goal is what you had just said, word for word, financial freedom, right? What would you say is the main difference with real estate compared to other industries in terms of achieving financial freedom? Like, how would you describe the difficulty in actually achieving that concept?
So it's a good question because I actually tried a few other investments. I would say I gave a chance to trading,
Mm-hmm.
and so I would say real estate on the long term, it's the way to go because there's other investments that you can do, but at the end of the day, I feel like everything else is more like a job, quote
Right.
unquote. You have to
Mm-hmm.
be active and you have to be working every day for it to keep going. While if you do real estate, I mean, it depends on what type of real estate you do, of course. I
Exactly.
would
Yeah.
wholesale is very active, but this is just like my first step. But as long as I move on and I keep scaling the real estate ladder, my goal is to have a real estate portfolio and just uh, apart from doing wholesale, which I do not plan on quitting, but I want
Mm-hmm.
to have something that that I can rely on every month, so
Right.
I don't have to do anything else if I don't want to. Well as for other investments, like I would say in trading or something else, maybe e-commerce, something like that. I
Right,
think
yeah.
like job, you have to be there every day and like work.
Yeah. So with other industries, it's like you just said, it seems like any other job that you would take, such as a 9 to 5, when in not in when in reality, it's not really financially free because you still need to be there 100% of the time. I
Like
totally
you
understand
make
what you're
money,
saying.
but if you make money but you're not able to enjoy it, that's not freedom from
Exactly. You're trading too much of your time, is what you're saying. Right.
exactly.
hmm So you said that, your number one process of, acquiring revenue and income right now is wholesaling. Now, I've been following you for quite some time, and I remember that you kind of got into the game with just you and your boyfriend, right? And then
Yeah.
I saw recently, I don't know if it was like a month or two ago, that you started actually acquiring, acquisition sales reps and building your own team and system within your own community. I just wanted to, understand and ask what made you hit that pivot from just being you and your boyfriend to actually acquiring such a bigger team.
So I guess you get to a point where when it's just the two of you, like you have this amount of time, like you cannot multiply yourselves and you can
Right.
only talk to this many people.
hmm
So as you know, real estate is a relationship based business. And if I can only talk to this many people during the day, I'm not gonna be able to scale my team.
Correct.
So I need more voices, I need more eyes, I need more ears, I need more people that can listen and talk to other people, because it's I'm not gonna be able to do it. So it either has to be AI or other people that
Right.
with me. So I guess I got to that point where like, okay, so if I wanna multiply this and do more deals per month, I need more people helping me. So that's when I decided to, um take more people on my team. And
Right.
I actually felt like I could be of help to them, because before that, I guess I was still learning myself as well. I still am, but I guess I didn't have the confidence to show someone else how to do it yet.
hmm I see. Okay, so when you were actually acquiring new members for your team, what was the process of onboarding them like?
So first of all, we do an interview with them to see what their expectations are, what their experience is, availability, or like how would their time frame, or like the time they have available work for us, because I am not asking them to be from this time to this time, because it's not a 9 to 5, like like we were just saying. That's a good thing about real estate. You're
Right.
flexible, and I'm not that kind of boss. For me, they're like partners, so I just want them to feel comfortable and kind of implement the real estate part to their routine or their work day. So we have that interview to get to know each other, see how we would be able to work together, just to kind of get a vibe of what they're like and how they would work, see
Right.
their strengths, and then after that, if everything makes sense, we of course, sign paperwork just to be clear on what each other's expectations are from each other. And after that, I have a few onboarding sessions. I train them on everything I know.
hmm
Um, I do everything like direct live. I don't pre-record anything, because I know some other teams record trainings and then they just forward them
They
to the
just
new.
post it on the CRM
Yeah.
or whatever. Okay.
Exactly. No, I actually don't do that. I thought about doing it, but I think it's, more personalized, and I can get to understand what the difficulties of the other person can be if I'm there with them while they're doing it, and I'm teaching them. I just think it's easier for them. And I know some people may say it might be a waste of time if they end up not, working well, or not being able to hit KPIs and stuff. And
hmm
I agree on some part, but on the other, I think if they turn out to be good and they stay with me for a long time, I think it's a great investment of my time. So I
Right.
spend some time training them, at least a couple of weeks, like just training, at least 1 or 2 hours a day, and I give them homework as well.
I
um,
see. Okay.
so
What
like
are those homeworks like? Now I have to. Now I'm very curious.
so let's say we talk about the CRM that day. It's
Okay.
nothing crazy. I just ask them to play around with the CRM, see how they feel about it. If we talk about comps, which is a very important part of the business,
Correct.
I give them a few addresses for them to run comps, and then I check them and we go over them to see if they did it right, or if what could have been done differently. So just things like that to make sure they understand.
I
Because
see.
it doesn't matter to me if they say, yeah, 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 I got it, I understand. If when I give them homework, like I call it, they don't know how to do it because
Mm-hmm.
they're gonna have to be doing it by themselves at some point. I'm not gonna be there. I mean, I am gonna be there, but I
Right.
can't like supervising everything they do. I am gonna
Exactly.
be there for the first few weeks, and I'm gonna verify everything they do. I'm gonna be there whenever they have any questions, when they talk to agents or when they are running comps, or like how to say things in a different way depending on who they're talking to. And I'm always gonna be there. We have a WhatsApp group, and Adita and I are available all the time, except
Mm-hmm.
for the difference. We're in Spain right now, so when it's night here, it's still in the afternoon. So there's a little time frame there where we
Yeah.
might sleep. But other than that, we're pretty much always on our phones and pretty much always ready to do a Zoom call or do whatever we need to help the team.
I see. So, how many people are on your team currently?
Right now it's five of us. We have three outgrips. We just
Okay.
have one that we had to let go. She didn't feel like she could hit KPIs, and
Mm-hmm.
that's a very important part of being part of the team. So we had to let
Right.
her. But I mean, I think she was doing great. Actually, I felt sorry for her because she got discouraged too early, after not seeing results for a month. So, but I think the door is gonna be open for her because I really think she was doing good. She just got discouraged very very easily.
Right. Now let's talk about that, the concept of delayed gratification, right? Especially in the business of real estate. A lot of people try to get into real estate, whether it's wholesaling or we all know the burr strategy. That's such a, like an antiquated strategy nowadays. But whatever investing strategy that they go into, um they try to make the money as fast as possible, right? And they try to make the money because they see YouTube testimonies. Oh, we can make 10 grand in 20-30 days, right? But the majority of the time that's just not possible, right? So I want to ask you, what has your journey been like through that concept of delayed gratification, and how did you fight through being discouraged on the early stages of your business?
Um, so yeah, I definitely agree. There's the delayed gratification sense overall in the investment world. But yeah, on my case, I started learning about real estate just a year ago. Yesterday made exactly a year since I joined Astro Flipping, which is the mentorship that I initially got into.
Right.
And I guess the first weeks, it was just learning, going through the modules, and just talking to people in the community to just get a vibe. I didn't know what my market was gonna be. So until like I took like real action, it took me like a month and a half. So if I joined September 30th, 2023, I guess it took 3 months to get my first deal.
Mm-hmm.
I think I closed it like mid-December, and it was actually funny because I assigned one deal on Wednesday and my second deal on Thursday, so like two deals back to back.
It was back to back checks. Okay, I see.
Unfortunately, one of them didn't make it to the finish line. We lost the buyer halfway through, but it was
Oh,
an experience. It was an experience.
yeah.
And then after that, I was like all hyped up. I got my first deal. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
Family was there in the US with us, celebrating Christmas. So we got to treat them to dinner. But
I
then
see.
after that, we had 2 months with no deals, zero.
Mm-hmm.
And I wasn't working at the time. Adit was a student, so I guess it was just like the need of like doing something, like being successful, that
Right.
made us push through and just stick to the plan, keep making the calls, keep talking to people, and finally in March we landed a big deal, we had acquired through It was actually another realtor. He wanted to wholesale it, but he didn't know how to, so he
Mm-hmm.
reached out to see if we could help, and we were able to find a buyer. And like 3 weeks after, we got paid, and after that, we've been doing deals consistently every month. But I have to say that June, at the time, was our biggest month, and
Mm-hmm.
then July, we didn't have any deals. Yeah, July was zero.
I
And
see.
after that, August went fine as well, and then September has been our biggest deal so far. So it's like a roller coaster a little bit.
Right.
It doesn't mean that because June was great, July was bad. I mean, it kind of evens out, and it gets balanced out. So I would say to those people that just want results now, just do what you're supposed to do. Like I was just talking about it a few days ago on my Instagram. When I follow up with acquisition wholesalers, most of them quit like within 1 or 2 months. And
Right.
that's so sad. Because like, man, you just got started.
Mm-hmm.
Just push through and don't change strategies. That's very important as well. Don't keep switching around. Oh, now I'm doing Dispo, now I'm doing acquisitions, now I'm doing North Carolina, now I'm doing Florida. No, pick one thing and stick to
Mm-hmm.
it.
Yeah. Now, when actually wholesaling, right? What do you think, or which part of the process do you think is more difficult, the acquisition or disposition of the deal?
Um, I would say both are difficult. I mean, none of them is easy. I do both.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I have to say that Ardiz is my boyfriend is the one that handles the acquisitions, and I focus more on dispositions. But
Okay.
none of them is easy. I mean, it's simple, but it's not easy.
Right.
Uh, you have to know how to talk to people, and you have to talk to each person in a different way. Like figure out what their vibe is, so you can build rapport with them. So I wouldn't be able to say one or the other. Both of them are hard.
I see. Now, I want to ask specifically about your acquisition strategy because, I tried getting a deal with you, and then I learned you only do direct to agent. So I just wanted to ask you, why do you guys do direct to agent instead of direct to seller?
So doing direct to agent, both MLS and off market, is the way we learned wholesaling and astro flipping.
Okay.
Uh, and the reason why we decided to join astro flipping was mainly because of that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, at the time, my English was not very good. I mean, it wasn't bad, but I didn't feel like I was confident enough to get on the phone and talk to sellers directly in English.
I
So
see.
we found astro flipping through, I don't know, Instagram or social media
Mm-hmm.
in general. And they were advertising themselves as, you don't have to call sellers, or you don't have to cold call sellers. So that clicked our minds, and we're like, okay, maybe there's a way for us to do it. And it's just because that's the way we started, and it's the strategy we picked, and we stuck to it.
I see. That's a really interesting story. That's awesome to hear. Now, throughout your journey, right, as you just said, it's been a whole roller coaster of, maybe you have a really big month where you're closing in so many deals that you can't even count. And then I remember you told me, what was it? After the first two deals, or after the first deal, you had a 2-month period where you had absolutely nothing come through,
Sure.
right?
Yeah.
Now, you talk about these roller coasters of deals and emotions. What has been your biggest lesson throughout your journey in wholesaling?
Um, just treat everyone as if you were to partner up with them now or in the future. That's one. And then the other, like we were just saying, just stick to your plan. Don't switch around, changing strategies. Just pick something and like stick to it. That's it.
I see. Got it. So, no, we just talked about your biggest lesson. Now, let's talk about your biggest success story. So, walk me through, like, whether it's it doesn't even actually have to be your biggest deal, but just something that that happened in the business that made you overly happy about. So,
Okay. So I have a couple stories I'm thinking of.
hmm
We just closed a deal recently. What's today? October 1st. So it was only like what, like 3 weeks ago. It
hmm
was a deal that we got locked up with the agent. It was on market. And I think it was listed in the 150s range. I'm not sure right now.
Right.
So we got it locked up at 105, and
Okay.
we started marketing it. And then, I market directly to buyers, and then I also share with other wholesalers if they want to bring a buyer. I'm
Correct.
okay with saving as well. I love working with other people. So I sent it to one of the other wholesalers, and he's like, "Hey, I'm under contract with this property." I'm like, "No,
With the
I
same property?
am the same property." I'm like, "No,
Really? Okay.
you're not. I am." No, no, no. I like for real. I am. So we got on the phone and we had actually discovered that we both were, but my contract was signed first, so technically mine was legal,
Mm-hmm.
and it was not. The only difference is that mine was looked up for 105, and he got it at 70K. So
Whoa.
yeah. So we decided to partner up, because we would both benefit from that. Because mine was the one that the seller should follow if something happened, because he signed it first, but his
Correct.
was different. So we JV'd on that, and like no matter what, like who brought the buyer, we would work together. So we found the buyer through someone else, someone I knew,
Mm-hmm.
and we were both able to make $11,000. But I thought it was just funny that we knew each other and we got the same property on the contract, and eventually it worked out.
Yeah, that's crazy because, like, I'm assuming this was in Florida, correct?
Yeah.
They could have picked any other property, but it was the one that you had under contract. That is insane. Wow.
Yeah.
Man. So I know you said that wholesaling isn't your end all be all. Like you have different strategies that you want to tap into. 5 years from now, right? Where do you guys see yourself as a team, as you and your boyfriend? Where do you guys see yourself in the business?
So I see myself with a portfolio.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I would say, how many you say, or at least like 10 at least, no more. I see myself retired, that's for sure. Like if I
Retired in 5 years.
retired, yeah. Like if I'm of course gonna keep working because I like what I do, honestly.
Right.
But I think I'm not gonna need it. Yeah. I think I'm gonna have like 10 to 15 properties. Um, it's either gonna be burrs, because I actually like the burr strategy.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I'm also interested in learning creative deal sub two and seller finance. Um,
Right.
I'm not very
That's the
educated.
next one you have to get into. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Yeah, we thought about it, but yeah, I see the wholesale side being more automated. Sorry,
Yeah.
automated, and just kind of like have people that we trust kind of manage it a little bit. I see myself doing flips as well for active income, um, and I hope we have a family.
That's awesome. Those are some awesome goals. So to wrap up the interview is just if you have any other words or messages to the audience listening, perhaps someone who wants to become a wholesaler, any advice for them as well?
Yeah, absolutely. Like we were saying throughout the interview, what I would do is just pick one market, pick one strategy, and start talking to people, and then stick to it. Whether you're cold calling, sending mailers, door knocking, whatever you do, just stick to it until you see results, and eventually you will be successful. That's it. And if you're working in the Florida market, you can always reach out to me. I'm always helping other wholesalers, whether it's for a buy price or dispositions. I can also help with EMD. So whatever you need, just reach out to me and I'll be happy to work together.
At Ugly Monkey REI, correct?
Yeah, you can. That's that like my business Instagram, but
Mm-hmm.
my personal Instagram, which I'm more active on, is at Leah Lea Ardizzone Ardizzonne. It's
We'll
a
make
little
sure to plug that. We'll make sure to plug that. Yep.
long.
So thank you very much, Leah, for the interview.
Thank you for
So,
having me.
of course. Ladies and gentlemen, that was Leah Ardizzonne. Thank you for watching today's episode, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.
You get the bag and fumble it, I get the bag and flip it and tumble it. Straight off the lot, 300 cash, and the car came with a blunt in it. Lil' mama a thot, and she got ass, and she gon' fuck up a bag. Pull up to the spot, living too fast, dropping the dope in the stash.